What's up, all my fantasy football fans out there? We are going to be doing a rookie mock draft today. This is 1QB Dynasty. Let's get into it. I'm just going to let you know, Sleeper is the best app for all your fantasy needs. So, starting off 1-1, I think it's a clear pick here for everybody in every league. You're going Marvin Harrison Jr. off the Rizzy. Number 2, it can get a little dicey. I don't think you should overthink it, though. I think it's an easy pick. I think you go Malik Neighbors. I don't think you overthink it and go Rome Odunze. I don't think you overthink it and go Brock Bowers. I think Malik Neighbors, who is compared to Justin Jefferson, even though he's in an awful situation, New York is a scary place for fantasy owners. And you see, I have one too, and when I saw Malik Neighbors go there, my stomach exploded. It was so bad. I also have 1-1, so we might be okay. But we're going Malik Neighbors 1-2. 1-3. I think you still don't overthink it, and I think you go Rome Odunze. I think he's in a solid situation. I think he's in a heavy offense. You got DJ Moore, you got Keenan Allen to feed, you have a solid wide receiver core, your QB can run, you have Cole Kmet. It is a stacked offense. I still think you go Rome Odunze. You're drafting for potential. 1-4. I know a lot of people were sick when Brock Bowers went to the Raiders. They have a little question mark at QB right now. You don't know really what's going to happen. I still think this is another pick you don't overthink. You could have some other options here. You could go Brian Thomas. You could go Lad McConkey. I'm going to mispronounce his name 5 different ways this video. You could go Jonathan Brooks. I would still go the generational tight end in Brock Bowers at number 4. And at number 5 is where it starts to get really interesting. You could go several ways here. Like we just said, there's solid wide receivers on the board. There's solid running backs still on the board. You have wide receivers going already. You got Brian Thomas here, and I think it's a toss-up, honestly, between Brian Thomas and Jonathan Brooks. I think that's where we're at right now. I personally would go Brian Thomas just because I think he has potential to be wide receiver 1 in that room. Not saying Jonathan Brooks doesn't have potential to be running back 1. This is my personal opinion. I'm going Brian Thomas. Do what your team needs if you have 5 or 6. I feel like these are 2 really solid picks right here because after Brian Thomas falls at 6, we're going to have Jonathan Brooks fall off the board. I feel like it's getting to that point. Running backs are about to start going. Not a lot of them. I don't think we're getting Blake Corum round 1. I think he's in a solid situation over there on the Chargers, but I don't think we're getting him round 1. I think pick 6, we're getting Jonathan Brooks. I feel like that's a solid pick right there. First running back officially off the board. And look, Jonathan Brooks is in a great fantasy, how should I put this? He's in a great situation to be a great fantasy asset. He's going to go over to Carolina. He's going to be running back 1. Who's stopping him from being running back 1? Chuba Hubbard. I've believed in Chuba Hubbard for the last 3 years of fantasy. Luckily, not on my Dynasty team. I think in some redrafts. Was that stupid of me? Absolutely. Do I think Jonathan Brooks is going to go over there and be substantially better? Absolutely. So that's why we're going Jonathan Brooks here. Next, I think we're going to see between 7 and 8, we're going to see Trey Benson fall off the board. Why are we taking Trey Benson so early? Well, let's talk about it. I think we're taking Trey Benson early. 1, because James Conner is a injury-prone running back. I think he's an injury-prone running back. He has a year left on his contract. Trey Benson's going to take that backfield over. If not this year, next year. This is a really good asset that's going to be there for a while. I think you take him here. You could look like you're reaching at the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year could be dicey for Trey Benson. I'm telling y'all, it is going to pay off taking him round 1. He is going to be an amazing running back in this league. I think he has what it takes. Pick number 8. This is where we get into it. You have a lot of wide receivers left. You got a generational quarterback. Caleb Williams is going round 1. I 100% believe in every dynasty draft, one QB. Caleb Williams is going round one. We did so many trades in our dynasty league. There are terrible teams without first round picks. A lot of the great teams have first round picks, and I still think Caleb Williams is coming off the board round one. Probably at 8 or 9. I wouldn't say 8 just because, like I said, it's going to depend what situation you're in. I think coming off at 8 is probably Xavier Worthy or Lad McConkey. See, this is where it gets interesting. You can take wide receiver one in Lad McConkey. Look, and that hurts me to say it. I'm a Quentin Johnston owner. I got him for cheap after the season. Round of applause for that. I think Quentin Johnston is going to have a resurgence here. Lad is he's going to make a lot of open space plays. I think you go him or you go Xavier Worthy here. He's on the Chiefs. Fastest receiver in the league. What happened last time the Chiefs had one of the fastest receivers in the league? Oh, yeah. They won a Super Bowl. I mean, they can ironically win a Super Bowl with anyone. They could win a Super Bowl with me out there on the field. So this is honestly going to come to preference. I think in the long run, I'm going to do Xavier Worthy at 8. I mean, it's going to be your personal preference if you have 8 or 9, because I think here is where Xavier Worthy and Lad McConkey both come off the board. We're going to do Xavier Worthy. We're going to do Lad McConkey at 9. Like I said, wide receiver 1 on the Chargers. You're going to have your QB1 back this year. He's going to have a lot of opportunities. The one bad thing is there aren't a lot of he could end up drawing double teams. I don't know if he's going to be a stud like that in the NFL. There's not a lot of guys that are going to be there to draw attention away from you, unless maybe Quentin Johnston has a bounce back year. We're hoping for that, like I said. But we're going Lad here. I wouldn't really overthink that too much at these two spots. Where am I at? There we go. Lad McConkey. So 10, I think we're going to go ahead and have Caleb Williams come off the board. I think he's going to go towards the end here. So we're going to go ahead and draft Caleb Williams. I mean, allegedly, apparently, supposedly, generational quarterback. I feel happy for the Bears and I feel sorry for Caleb Williams because the Bears are known as quarterback killers. So that's going to be real interesting. We're going to do round 1. We might dip into a little bit of round 2. We might dip a little bit into round 2. So at 11 and 12, you have some solid options. I think they're both wide receiver options. I think you're obviously going. So let's read the board real quick. We got A.D. Mitchell, solid option. You have Keon Coleman, potentially wide receiver 1 on the Bills. Now, he is a project wide receiver. He has a lot to learn. I think he could come out by the end of the year as wide receiver 1. I think there is going to be a little, you know, there's a little learning gap from college to the NFL, right? So I think you could go Keon Coleman. I think you could go Jalen Polk. I think you could. I wouldn't reach for Ricky. I think Ricky's going to fall in the second round. I think Ricky's going to be a good sit on for a year. So that's going to be a really good second round steal. I'd probably go. So 11 and 12 are going to be Keon Coleman and A.D. Mitchell. I would personally go A.D. Mitchell just because solid quarterback play, solid run game to open up the pass, solid wide receivers so you're not getting double teamed every play. And I think he is a good big end zone target. I think he's going to get a lot of looks this year. Then we have pick 12. Obviously, I think we're going to go Keon Coleman here. I think that's the pick. Keon Coleman, like I said, project wide receiver. A lot of potential there. We'll do a few picks in a round 2. I think wide receivers are still gonna fall off the board. You have solid potential. I think in the first 5 picks, you're gonna see 4 wide receivers. I think you're gonna see I think Troy Franklin's going to fall. If you know about Troy Franklin, then you know why people are probably skeptical on taking him. I think you're going to get a solid, probably third or fourth round pick out of him. If you have a third or a fourth and you take him, it might be a good, risk reward. I think Jalen Polk probably comes off the board right here. I think he's in a solid, could be wide receiver one situation over there. And I just picked the wrong person. Remove player. There we go. I think Jalen Polk, New England wide receiver, not a lot of solid wide receivers over there. You have question marks all over the wide receiver core, and you have a franchise quarterback that needs targets. I think Jalen Polk is going to be solid in fantasy. Next, we probably are going to go. You could go Roman Wilson. You could go Xavier Lingetti. I think he's going to be solid over there in Carolina. Ricky Parcell, like I said, he's going to be a solid round 2 pick. I think about right now is where we're going to see Blake Corum fall off the board a little bit. I think we're going to see him get picked. Wide receivers are kind of dwindling down. We're going to see Blake Corum come off the board. Then after that, I mean, it's going to be a domino. Like I said, wide receivers. We're probably going to have Xavier Lingetti come off the board. And if I'm saying that wrong, I'm so sorry. You're probably going to have Xavier come off the board. You're probably going to have, where is he? You're probably going to have Ricky Parcell come off the board. You're probably about to have Roman Wilson come off the board. Like I said, Troy Franklin's probably going to fall, and I would let him fall. Denver wide receivers terrify me to death. You'll probably see after that, I think it's just, you're drafting for potential. You're looking for matchups. You're looking for good situations. I would say that's probably where we're going to end our draft right now. I haven't looked pretty like that deep into it past round 1 to be giving y'all solid round 2 advice, right? I would say maybe I just don't even like any of the running backs left. I mean, this is such a heavy wide receiver draft. It's probably going to be a wide receiver. We'll do this last one and we'll call it. Probably, I mean, are there any tight ends left? I would not draft Jatavian Sanders that high, honestly. You could see another quarterback come off the board. Who knows? I think Jaden Daniels is in a really solid situation. So we'll leave it at that. We'll have Jaden Daniels in the second round. I think that's a pretty good pick. I hope y'all enjoyed this mock draft. I hope this enlightened y'all. Do not be scared to trade back in your fantasy draft. Get some equity. Don't pull people too high. Don't forget, like, follow. We do content daily. We do shorts daily. We do videos every week. Don't forget, like and follow. Let me know in the comments what pick you have and who you're going to go.